The year 2000, a new millennium, a time of great hope, but also growing concern about the global threat of terrorism. The UK, like many nations, felt the need to strengthen its defences. Enter the Terrorism Act 2000, a piece of legislation as controversial as it was necessary. It granted the authorities sweeping powers to combat terrorism, on the face of it a vital tool to protect the realm. But like any powerful tool, it has the potential for misuse. This essay will delve into the Act, examining its provisions, highlighting instances of misuse, and stressing the importance of constant vigilance against the erosion of civil liberties. The Act's reach is vast. It redefines terrorism, encompassing threats to life, property, and even electronic systems. This broad definition has been a point of contention. One of the most controversial aspects is the power it grants police to stop and search individuals without reasonable suspicion. This has led to accusations of racial profiling and harassment. Furthermore, the Act allows for the detention of suspects for up to 14 days without charge. A necessary evil, some argue, to gather evidence. Others decry it as a violation of fundamental rights. The Act also criminalizes the glorification of terrorism, both online and offline. This provision has been criticized for stifling free speech and legitimate political dissent. Despite its broad powers, the Terrorism Act is not a blank check for state overreach. The courts have played a crucial role in reining in its excesses. One notable case involved the arrest and detention of David Miranda, partner of journalist Glenn Greenwald, under Schedule 7 of the Act. Miranda was held for 9 hours at Heathrow Airport and had his electronic devices confiscated. The High Court ruled that the stop and search powers under Schedule 7 had been used unlawfully in this case, highlighting the importance of proportionality and journalistic freedom. Another landmark case involved the use of the Act against protesters. The Crown Prosecution Service brought charges against activists who had occupied a London arms fair. The charges were eventually dropped after it became clear that the CPS had misapplied the law. This case demonstrated the dangers of using anti-terrorism legislation to stifle legitimate protest. Section 4, a case study in overreach, the Tommy Robinson affair. The case of Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, is a stark example of how the Terrorism Act can be misused for political ends. Robinson, a journalist and political activist known for his anti-Islam views, was arrested outside a court in Leeds in 2018. He was subsequently charged with contempt of court for filming outside a trial subject to reporting restrictions. While this initial arrest was not directly related to the Terrorism Act, it is what happened next that raises serious concerns. While in prison for contempt of court, Tommy Robinson was further charged under the Terrorism Act for a Facebook post made almost a year earlier. This post, which criticized Islam, was deemed to be likely to stir up hatred. The speed with which these charges were brought and the fact that they related to an old social media post led many to believe that the Terrorism Act was being used to silence a political opponent. Section 5, Safeguarding Our Freedoms, the Need for Vigilance. The Terrorism Act 2000 was born out of a genuine need to protect the public, but as we have seen, even well-intentioned laws can be misused. It is vital that we remain vigilant against any attempts to erode our civil liberties in the name of security. This means holding the government to account, challenging abuses of power, and defending the right to free speech, even when that speech is unpopular. The courts have a vital role to play in this regard, as do journalists, activists, and ordinary citizens. We must all be prepared to speak out against injustice and to defend the values that make our society worth protecting. Section 6, Conclusion, a balancing act. The fight against terrorism is undoubtedly important, but it should not come at the cost of our fundamental freedoms. Striking a balance between security and liberty is paramount. The Terrorism Act 2000, with its sweeping powers and potential for misuse, presents a constant challenge to this delicate balance. It is a challenge we must continue to meet head-on, with clear eyes and a steadfast commitment to the principles of justice and freedom. If you like our content, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mr. X Media. Thank you.